Hello, everyone. Welcome back to this episode of the Super Robot Wars Archives Alpha playthrough. We just finished up last scenario, number 9. Both learning some more about the Grungust and sort of what our role is going to be in the story, both on a personal and like large scale level. And also meeting Misaki in the Cybuster and sort of getting some more information about how the alien technology is working and like that, a lot of major powers are sort of starting to activate all of their plots to come in conflict with each other. I was really excited by the end of things to see where we're going. But reading over the plot this time feels like we're a little bit more laid back in terms of story. But I think that's because we're going to be introducing and getting to keep 2 new characters. I realized after last scenario I forgot to equip parts, so let's do that now. I never put the Chop Ham armor on. I think it might be a little bit overkill on the Combattler for generics, but I think we just like need to stop. I need to stop getting excited about killing generics. Like they're not as impressive now. And the Combattler really took a thrashing when it was fighting Garuda. So like I think this is probably the right play. I also figured out what the Fs are. That stands for full. That just means they have all their parts equipped. That's nice. I appreciate that. It's a good signifier, so I don't have to like scroll through the entire list and see if there's an errant part somewhere that I don't want it. Yeah, so I'm not sure how much the story is going to carry us into the actual mission proper, but I would try and hammer through this really quickly, but I will concede I already filmed this once, at least the introduction, but I errored through our choices somewhere in the middle there, and I needed to reset that because I need to make sure we picked the right one. Okay, so we're opening with villains this time. They are attempting as is the tradition of all good Monster of the Week shows, they're going to revive one of the older monsters to like give it a power boost, both now that it's like vengeful for having been killed or defeated, but then also as like a way to power scale and show how far the character has grown, which doesn't work quite the same because this is the first time we're getting to use the Raideen. So I'm kind of figuring that this is like a plot point that was not invented for the game, that this is just like being lifted pretty much 1-to-1 from the show. There's not a whole lot to do with it. They're just like going back and forth about whether this is actually a good idea. And then explaining that, like the vengeance has made him stronger. And then they're just trying to take out Akira and like capture the Mutron. Then Ingram and Oka are talking more about the SRX project. We saw when they showed up the first time that R1 and R2 were also with Ingram and that they seem to be working pretty well fine. But there are like 3 hangups right now. R3 and what's my notes say? Tronium engine are mechanically where the project is stalling right now. There's nothing wrong with them per se. They're just like the thing that needs the most work up and coming. And then also that Ryusei just like needs more like combat experience. He is but a high school student for the vast majority of his life and just like needs more like on-field practice, which is why I think this is like, I'm sort of thinking of this as like an introductory mission, and we're probably going to get to keep Ryusei after this now. What else? Oh yeah, okay, 2 things actually. There is the AGX-05. I don't think I know what that is. If I am supposed to, I forgot. I apologize. But Ingram is taking that to the DC branches. If I were to guess, oh, you know what? I bet that's the Grungust's code number. That's probably the Grungust's code number. And he also mentions the G series and the R series, the R series is the R1, 2, 3, and gun. The G series and the H series, which I'm assuming are the Grungust and the Huckabin. But I'm curious to see if they're going to like what if any upgrades they're going to get. I think of the R series as the one that combines, so I don't think of like the Huckabin or the Grungust as combining. So I'm curious what that will mean, seeing as they've been called a series, Banjo just showed up as promised to go talk to Ingram about the SRX project, but he's not there because we just saw him leave. And then we got some like basic character introductions from the three of our pilots. I guess we haven't seen Aya yet in this playthrough, but the woman that was there, her name's Aya. She is the pilot for the R3. Okay, so here's the part I messed up last time. We need to make a choice here. We are going to pick to, oh yeah, so for our expert point, we need to pick that we're going to do this mission stealthily. We can either rush in immediately or we can take the stealthy path. We gotta sneak up on them. So this is the choice we're going to make. I imagine this is probably going to set things up in the same way we did before when we were asked to do stuff like this, like whether we like followed Koji or not, or whether we went to like look for the robot or look for our girlfriend, or whatever the choice in the first mission was. Then I'm assuming this is going to like give us different like setup instructions. But it looks like we're just going to like play as this group. Like we're not starting with our main cast, which will be fun. Getting to like have to play around new, like some new parameters. Yeah, I'll wait for this till we actually get to see it. But I guess I will start by saying I really wish Super Robot Wars would do this some more. That like we don't need to have this. All right, well you line up all the bad guys and I line up all the good guys, and we're gonna have them on each side of the map and then just mush them all together. That like we are allowed to start like in media race. Like give us conditions that show us, that story is actively taking place. We can't get away from this map though. I've played this map so many times between Y and 3 and now this one. It just shows up so often. Okay, we've got the Bloogers. Cool. Interesting. Okay, this is not what I was expecting. So maybe this is not exactly what I was hoping for. The description said that the Raideen was badly damaged and that Akira was still asleep. So I was kind of hoping that the Raideen was like going to be on the map and just like at 10% health to start in the middle of a fight. Like that would have been cool. Like that's great. Please do that. But never mind. I was getting too hopeful. But like why can't we start missions like that? Just give us scenarios that are like already kind of preset. Not ones that require us to do like exact perfect math to figure them out. Like I would like that, but I know a lot of people wouldn't. Like that's not what I'm saying. Just, there's a lot of this stuff that happens during cutscenes, but like, I don't know, let the gameplay be a cutscene sometimes. It's okay. Okay. We can actually no, we can scan these. We know from past experience that the Bloogers are able to kill the Dlomes. Yeah. So let's see what we can do. This is a 4-range post movement, and they have. That's really. They have 3 movement. Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. I don't want to like change this too hard, so I want to be able to see where we were. Okay, great. Oh, that's so obnoxious. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the one thing. As much as I'm like geeking out about this game, the way in which you interact with the map is hunkin' rough. Okay, these are terrain tiles. I'm assuming it's just this like cluster of 2x2. Yeah, the rest of this is just ocean, just because the fact that it's elevated. And I feel like the Godface shard has historically had parts to it, had terrain to it. Okay, increases your accuracy a little bit. I guess that's as weird as it was during 3. But yeah, normally I'd be talking about the story now, but like there just wasn't a lot going on. So, whoops. I wonder in what context we're like sneaking here, because this like feels pretty out in the open. I was kind of really hoping we were gonna like have a situation where we were gonna need to like try to figure out where enemy ranges were and like move to a location. Fire Emblem's done that a couple of times. I feel like we've never done that. Whenever it's like an arrive at a location kind of map, it's always like given us a like large wave of enemies that we're like on the other side and we have to like burst our way through rather than have to like try and sneak around. Cool. Okay. Ryusei's here. So I guess sneak through means we're going to be like drip feeding our characters onto the mission map, which is fine. I guess let's start talking as if he is a keepable character at this point. We didn't really quite go over him last time, so let's do that now. He has a sword and a shield, but not a gun. Gracious is his HP low, but that's not surprising given the fact that he's also, like, he is effectively what all the different battle pieces are, or the, like, Liger, I can't remember the names of the two, but the jets from the Getter, right? That's effectively what he is, so it's not surprising that his HP is so low. But definitely a big downside for him is he's medium compared to those that are usually small, where that's, like, definitely making his dodging a little bit worse. And we established 110's, like, fine, but he has less armor and low HP, so I feel that we got to be careful with him. He does have flashes, though. He does have flashes. That's good. I don't know what Guts does in this game yet. He does have a little bit of psychic power, shield defense, and sword cut to match those two. That's good. He is also clocking in at like a little over 300 hit and dodge. Okay, that's not bad. We have like a nice weapon selection too. A number of these are okay. We've got an okay weapon selection. A couple of these are just one range. You're equal. Okay. That's fine. T-Link's also not actually that far off to get. Okay. No, maybe this wasn't as good as I was thinking it was. I'm looking over at some of these, and like we have some good accuracy by it. Oh, whoa. Okay, sorry. No, sorry. This is plus 40 crit. The R combination. Okay, cool. That might be our human form option. Okay, we're gaining 10 mobility. Not bad. That's like one or two upgrades. Equivalent to 1 or 2 upgrade points. But we are losing out on some more defensive properties by not having a sword and shield. So that feels a bit of a downside. And then we still have our map attack, and then we have, I think this is not the same. Oh, no, it is. Never mind. Okay. Okay. Also, I foolishly never checked these buildings. Yeah, these buildings are also, like, base terrain. I don't fancy we're going to involve ourselves with the two sorted guys. Like, the one I remember couldn't get the name right of. They seem a bit out of our league to start. But these Blugers can soften up a lot of these storms really comfortably. All right, just do this and let the other ones come in. I imagine that Banjo will be here soon, and then maybe R2 and R3 too. Banjo did say he was ready to fight, so I imagine we're if we don't get him this scenario, we'll probably get him next one. I don't know how much I want to use the Daitarn. I feel like we've already queued up a number of supers, and I feel like the Daitarn's around a lot. I could be wrong about that. I may just have seen a lot of the instances where he is. But I've never found the Daitarn to be like that compelling. You'd think I really should like it on the account that it has like these like transforming modes, but the Dai Tank and the Dai Fighter just always felt so. They were always like statistically so underwhelming comparatively. That said, the music slaps. I love his opening so much. I love Daitarn music so much that I went on my way to find it's like Portuguese or Italian, whatever. There's a channel called Tutti Robo. I don't remember which country it was from, but they dubbed they made their own opening for it. For at least they probably did it for a lot of shows, but at least for the Daitarn one, it was very good. Okay, it's not quite the Daitarn. We have just a jet for now. I didn't realize that was an option. But this is a little bit more the speed of the like smaller combination parts. I wonder if we can separate out into this later. But 140 mobility and an S feels pretty comfy. And also 300 and what? That's, yeah, 310, 320 dodge. The mobility of the jet is really helping with that. Banjo is not necessarily, Banjo's not really particularly a dodge-oriented character, mind you, but... Oh, whoa, okay. I was not taking this into account, but Banjo also has a really big upside. In fact, he's starting with 25 kills. I don't know what Ace looks like. I'm assuming it's probably going to be 50. But starting halfway through that is a really big upside. On our post movements are 1 range again. I feel like we might not be keeping this for the whole of this map. We might switch into the Ditarn later, because that's kind of underwhelming. We don't even have hits here. Okay, let's see what combat looks like. Okay, not as bad as I thought it was going to be. We could stand back here. Right, because these are the ones that can only attack at close range. So, hold on. This is figure outable. We're at least going to flash to dodge one of those attacks. But we can stand in a position, or I was hoping we could stand in a position where the other ones couldn't attack us also. But if we're here, we're also going to get attacked by... We'll be attacked by 2 people if we're standing on this tile that I'm hovering over now. Can we be 1, 2... No matter what, we're always going to be in range of 2 people. 3 people? Okay, maybe this is not as good of a plan. Okay, so what? We were being attacked for 13. They had 13 accuracy on us, so instead, if we are here, that's an increase of... We got 10 mobility, so it's only a hit rate of 3. We dodge 1 of those with the flash, and then we just have to fade two attacks at 3 hit. I think that's fine. Yeah, let's do this. I don't think there's any like time restrictions on it. The only thing we had to do for the expert point was sneak in. Oh, you know what? I guess I'll also be a goof. Like, obviously, we're going to get the Raideen here, too. Which will definitely make this a lot easier. Okay. That's, like, okay damage. I do want to be better at, like, looking at numbers. So let's see what their defense is stacking up to be. Are they starting with morale? No, they're not. 400 armor. I see. What? I guess, like, what's Banjo's? Oh, no, okay, no, Banjo just has a lot of defense. Which is to be expected, because that's what, like, I expect. That's like, what the Ditarn should have. Right, isn't it Invincible Steelman Ditarn is the full name of the show? Oh, we still have 2 of these are in range. This actually works out really well for the Bloogers. They just get to, like, farm these things with no consequence. On one hand, I like that we get to use the Bloogers for, like, actual combat. On the other, it feels a little bit unearned comparatively. They've been pumped up so much since last I've used them. It matches. That's not even true. I was gonna say it matches with the rest of the game, but, like, these are more inflated, like... These are more potent than some of the units we are using. And these are support units. I guess the units I'm thinking of, though, are all of the, like, ones that split apart. I don't know off the top of my head, like, what the stats are on the Combattler pieces in something like... In 3. 3 complete box was the last time I used the Bloogers. The cowards didn't put them in Y. What do we got? We got another second Gontai. I wasn't sure if those were going to actually be, like, repeats or not. I figure Y could have just, like, thrown them around multiple times. Oh, right, actually. Okay, so I did misplan. I mean, it's fine, but I did technically misplan here. I was expecting to be attacked by 3 characters, but I forgot that 2 of them could only be standing on each one of the same spaces, so that ended up not actually being the case. I know the Delooms aren't like a big deal, but it is like really nice that these things get to perform this combat role and just like clear these generics out like really cleanly. I don't think we actually saw who was in the other Gante. The other Gante just like not piloted by anyone. It's just a generic. There. Okay, perfect. Yeah, Akira is getting called by Raideen to fight this like menace. This I believe they call it the Emperor or God of Destruction. The Gods of Destruction, which is a pretty menacing title. I hope they pose a threat that is like that lives up to their name. I imagine the Raideen is going to be good. I don't remember. I didn't use it a lot in 3, but I did not think of it as necessarily a water-based unit, despite the fact that there's like a lot of water stuff going on here. So I will have to check to see if it can like do well in the water. As I pointed out last scenario, there's so much water on these opening maps. So if that's the case, that would be really helpful. For longtime fans of both this series and just mecha anime in general, I know that there is a modern Raideen anime that is like supposed to be a reboot of this show. Does it show up in these games at all? I know I could theoretically check on Akarasu, but you know, it's nice to hear from you guys too. Oh, you know what? Okay, it's like one of its attacks is God voice, and I never understood why that was like. It felt like the game was giving it some gravitas, but I guess the fact that because it like speaks to Akira to like teach him he's psychic, that makes more sense. I love that the first thing that it does when it wakes up is that it screams. Me too, game, me too. All right, sick. That sounds like some morale we got. Come on. Okay, sick. Let's see. Yeah, we got two shots of willpower. That's nice. Okay, we have a sword and shield. No, we're B in the water. Interesting. I wonder why it was given A in the water in Y. Why it was in Y. If you have thoughts about that too, I would be interested to hear it. If that's like precedent that's set later on. Maybe just like hasn't shown up in alpha yet. Yeah. 1400 armor is not as good as I was hoping, but I guess it can't like we can't have every single one of them can't be like the most tankiest thing on the planet. Can it transform? No, okay, it can't go into God Bird mode. That's only for an attack. That's fine. It's fine. We have potential. We have psychic power. We have shield defense and sword cut. Though our shield defense and sword cut are also perhaps the lowest we've seen, just in the fact that they were like kind of only extant. We do have 3 spirits though. We've got flash, focus, and what I'm calling, I believe, guts. It's whatever the 30% one is. I just say it like that because I'm pretty sure one of the other games we're playing on the channel right now, but I feel like I've got like 6 different playthroughs going at the same time. I think one of them calls, is it? Oh yeah, I think it's a translation for Y calls the full heal guts. Yeah. Okay. Everything starts with God something. It also has a litany of attacks, which is what I remember seeing from 3. God, Breaker, maybe, is probably not going to be used at all. I suppose if it runs out of Ener. No, we'll probably just be using this instead. The God Boomerang. Okay, the upside is it's slightly more accurate and has slightly more crit. So it's not that different in power. We might be forced to use this a couple times. Okay. God Missile feels like that makes sense. The arrow is just all around better except for crit. Yeah, the arrow is just all around better except for crit. It's just that we don't have an infinite number of ammo. I guess, actually, sorry, no. It also has a little bit fewer ammo, but... God Thunder Yeah, a lot of these attacks are like incrementally better in like one specific way, or like a couple like small specific ways. Where like God Thunder, yeah, God Thunder is slightly better crit, cannot attack in water, which feels weird. I feel like you should be able to shoot lightning into water pretty comfortably. That feels like that should be really effective. But it also like takes energy. Then the Go Gun takes morale to hit, but only 5 in this game, so I think it's 1 kill. I think that's 1 kill. But can't be used post movement, but like 6 range not post movement seems fine. I do like the Raideen for this fact that there's like it can do something pretty far. It can do something at like long, medium, and close range. How much move does it have though? Oh, it has 7 movement. Yeah, so it can actually make use of all of those too. That feels nice. Yeah, this is the oh, pressure. Yeah, pressure. Oh, I got to be careful with this one. I'll see if I can remember to give a warning. But I like gave myself a headache. I like was feeling like actively nauseous, and I have to imagine with people with like photosensitivity or like epilepsy, some of these attacks that sometimes the Raideen was animated in a really heinous way. I'll try to remember to call it out if we use some of those attacks. And then if we find that it is animated really badly, we just won't use them again. Yeah, no, I remember something being... I remember there being some attack that really, like, did not do well with my head. It just like electric soldier Porygon style like flashed on the screen, alternating between like purple and yellow so much. Yeah, okay, so this one is just generic. That's fine. We probably should have gotten those Bloogers out of there. Well, we're probably fine for another turn. We can have the Bloogers meet up with the R1 over there. Yeah, I think we're going to fight over here first and deal with the Gantes afterwards. Well, let's see how bad it is. I guess just like fair warning. I don't know if it's this attack or not. I don't remember the names of them. I do want to look at the attacks. It's like, I think the attack has promise that they don't animate it stupidly. And like I said, if this does end up being like, unhelpfully animated, well, we won't play it again, or I'll do my best to remember not to. Though I also don't know how much, like, I'm not sure if we're gonna actually get to use the Raideen again. No, okay, this seems fine. The Foley Fort was also awful. It sounded like someone scooped all of the metalware in their kitchen onto the floor at once. It was so bad. Oh, the game crashed. Okay, hi. So my game crashed. I have not moved this over to my hard drive yet. I'm still playing it off, or my main hard drive. I'm still playing it off of an external hard drive. So I guess maybe this is the reminder to move that. I can do that after we do this, after we finish this mission. But I got us back to vaguely where we were. I think this is pretty close. I'm pretty sure I remembered all my moves. I do think Ryusei did a couple extra, like an extra combat or two, because I just like pushed him forward. But I don't think we've seen the T-Link yet, so I guess let's take a look at that. Our ability is a little bit worse, but I think we'll be fine. And hopefully we don't crash again. I am bopping. I like this. I think this music's good. I'm glad there's like a full song for it. The like weird shouting in the background is a choice though. That was pretty reasonable. Why did we do that much damage? I did not look at his stats and go, they were worth a lot. Is it just because he already had a lot of morale? Oh, you know what? He also saw the Blooms get killed, which I think he was probably getting morale from too. That probably helped. Like, he didn't have bad stats, but we did note that they were, like, evenly distributed. Yeah, they were 150. I mean, his morale's not even that high. So what? Right now, it's 260, 270. It's 270, but I guess he did get some from that kill, and he also just leveled up a point, so it wasn't that high before. So yeah, it's like 1.35 times. So like say 1.3 times instead. I guess it is 2,500 power. 4,000 was a lot more. Oh, you know what? And he has psychic power, so I probably wasn't factoring in there. And maybe Guts is getting activated. I'll see if I can clock if it gets highlighted in green at some point, and then maybe Guts is doing something else. Yeah, I mean, this is really cheap. Let's just like fire this again. This did 4,000 when it crit. Oh, you know what? I think when we're on the map, if it only shows the like exact damage. Okay, warning again. This might be the Raideen attack that is hard to look at. We'll see. I would rather at least activate it once just so we know, so we don't accidentally walk into it later. I'm not sure if that got eaten by my game crashing or where that will be in the recording, but bear saying again. He's kind of little looking in this. I figured he was a lot bigger. Yeah, I believe this was the attack that was hard to look at before. But, like, that's not that bad. I think that's pretty manageable. No, it was like this, like, squiggly egg yolk kind of looking thing. And it was probably on screen for maybe 5 seconds, but it feels like it must have flashed like 100 times. Someone got the past regulations. Like, I would tell you to look it up just to like see what I'm talking about, but I don't recommend it. It hurts. So, we have the Gantes coming in, so I feel fine using this just to see what it looks like, and maybe we can one-shot it, and then we'll get our energy resupplied on the terrain tile. Oh wait, no, the Bloogers resupply anyway, so we can just move next to them. That'll do the same job. Never mind. I feel like we probably could one-shot this with this attack. I do remember using the Raideen a little bit. Now that we're like activating this, I do remember using it a little bit in the beginning, just because it made it was pretty easy to like secure kills with this attack, just because it doesn't cost a lot of energy compared to how much damage it does. We like recreate the ending of Zeta Gundam, which I think this is before Zeta Gundam. Baby. We recreate the ending of Zeta Gundam, we just like smash right into them. Yeah. I think it's a kill, the fact that we went on the F, yeah. Oh boy. That does a lot. That is almost more than that's like almost doing more than the Giant Robo. But Giant Robo was still really, we've still not quite rivaled that yet, despite getting like a lot of theoretically important characters. I guess let's try scanning the Gontan and see if we can also like one-shot it. Well, we did 8K before. Oh no, it's got better armor, better defense, and yeah. We probably can't one-shot it without something like Valor. Valor was the word I was looking for. Okay, your post movements are just one range, so we are fine here. I guess we'll resupply the Raideen next turn. They are supply bots, right? Yes, they're just supply bots. Yeah, I don't think they repaired in the maybe they repaired. I think they actually do. I think they do repair. I'm imagining that Ryusei is going to get an Excel. I don't know, but I have a sneaking suspicion that he might. No shot that the SRX doesn't have an Excel on it somewhere between its 3, maybe 4 pilots. Good, I'm glad that's moving too. Okay, so we can attack here. Who has the better range stat? 139. Okay, so we'll have the man do it. And he has a flash. I think let's open here. We want to save our bigger attacks for later. Just to try and not proc potential, though it doesn't have potential. It's just, I guess, theoretically just good practice for the future. Oh, I don't think I quite clocked that that map attack only had one charge to it. That's a bit of a bummer. What's your parameters in water? Just a B. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I'm like so used to putting characters next to each other because of many reasons, but do we have a flash on? We do not have a flash on. We have a 100% dodge chance. All right, hold on. Let's check some stuff out vaguely quick. So right now we're at 120. We have 2, 3, 14. Right, yeah, we're at 314 dodge. And the Gante is using Missile, which has +0 to hit. And it has 1, 2, 32. Yeah, so there is... That's not enough. That's like, what, 70 or 80, roughly, like back in the notebook, Aspen and Quick. But we are, and we're medium. We're medium against double extra large. Does the scaling, does the size of the enemy change? We haven't seen the Gante attacks. We can show this. Does the size of the enemy change? Or the difference between the units change your ability to dodge, or is that only like scaling up and down with damage? If this game even has that. I'm like used to thinking of the smaller ones as just like being better at dodging, not that you need to make a comparison. But maybe I'm incorrect about that. Also, as I'm looking at this, I realized that like in the opening we said we were like reviving the fossil monster Bustodon. But I don't think this is that. Seeing as there's 2 of them, and one of the villains, Sharkin, said he was gonna like fly out in one, and he's here in one. Maybe it's just like an enemy coming later. All right, then we decide that you don't have any you only have 1 range post movement attacks. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll stand back here. Banjo's probably tanky enough that if he does opt to attack us, this is exactly the wrong positioning. Yeah, I forgot we kept you at a right angle. All right, what if we go here? What are our attacks looking like? Not very good. We kind of have to stay put. I guess we don't even have to resupply this turn. I think we still want to, though. We'll attack here first. I don't think we're going to kill this turn. Yeah. We can next turn, though. That did nothing. Yeah. Okay. That works fine. And then we'll repeat for Sharkin. Can't remember his name. I guess we killed this stolen this round. That's some good funds. That's some good cash. That was 9,400. Presumably it's going to be worth the same amount on him too. He's not scammed. Okay. How much money are you worth? 2,200, and we got 22,000. We got 9,400 from that. Is that 2/3? I don't think that's 2/3. Hold on, let's quick figure that out. That was the wrong way. I know how to do it. I feel like whenever I need to, I always do it the wrong direction. Okay, that's like 42 and a bit off that money. So maybe they weren't worth the same amount. But I'll try to remember that that's 22,000. We'll see how much we get. Do you have potential, Mr. Sharkened? You do. Okay. Okay. How's Ryusei doing here comparatively? 37 hits. Not great. That's transforming. Let's solve that problem right quick. I don't think Banjo's going to get to do anything because he showed up in a flying limousine rather than like a combat unit. That's fine. I do kind of like Sharken's design. It is like aggressively like fictionalized Egypt, but yeah, it's harder to say. I mean, like y'all know I've like gotten real grumpy before about like racial stereotyping. It feels harder to me to make a like really firm call when it is like so far abstracted into the past that like part of the design is that it is like part of the design is the fact that it's mythological, you know? Yeah. It also like doesn't affect it, like it doesn't or seems exceedingly unlikely to affect people who are like actually alive now, which is the part I'm like most concerned about. But I don't think that's the only thing that matters, because like, you know, that does spiral into like information for the future. Okay, this is 22,000. Let's see how much we get here. I guess we'll give this to the right dean. It's like his villain, so I suppose. Does resupplying Ryusei do anything? Can't narrow it down. That probably does practically nothing. So, no. We did have 100% hit before. So maybe potential is also doing the like usual decreasing accuracy and evasion deal. We'll watch this boss kill. Again, 22,000 fun. Let's see what this gives. This felt like a shorter episode. Yeah, no, it totally was. Because like even I'm looking at the recording time right now and it's 50 minutes. And a not inconsiderable chunk of that was me getting back to this point. Maybe it was like 10 minutes, we'll say. I guess we do still have like post scene. We'll see how long that is. Oh, not very. Yeah. This is sort of like a kind of insulated moment. So unsurprising that it's like it ends up being shorter. That we like don't have our like larger cast of characters and thereby plot to interact with. Okay, so here's Super Robot Wars already kind of handles this by having route splits, but I really loved with Tier Ring Saga how we got 94 from that again. That's so odd. Huh. I never would have guessed. We'll pay attention to that more with funds for the future, why we are getting like a really truncated amount. Oh, you know what? You bet that's from the expert points. I bet that's decreasing the value of it. I bet that's probably how one of the difficulties is being modulated. Maybe you get half. I feel it in the past I've calced it assuming that you've gotten half for a lot of these things. Mario's a familiar face. I've calculated a lot of these things assuming that you've gotten half. Because like in R, they would show you like the value of your unit, and you had to pay half of that for it. So what do you bet we get 11,000, and then drop that down to 9,400. I wonder if each point decreases it by a flat amount. That's also the wrong direction again. Nothing particularly important is happening here. They're just sort of berating them for going out ahead of things. Ryusei wants a picture with all the robots, because of course he does. It's cute. Like, I like that characterization. It just, like, it's... We know how he's gonna be. It's cute for him to do it. Oh, and because Banjo came to be to like figure out stuff with the SRX, it sounds like I wasn't sure if he was going to go and sort of like put the gears to Ingram, but it sounds like more he was going to try and help it work out, because he also just invited Aya to like basically join us on the route that we were taking. They're going to go to the same place so that he can help like work with her on the R3. So that feels like we're going to be like a good way to like have our like multiple parties have like a crash course with each other. So maybe then Ryusei isn't going to be with us immediately. I figure we weren't going to see them like show up in this list, but I figure like maybe they're going to show up during next scenario, and that's how we would like get access to them. But that's the core fighter. It took me a second. It's the like buffering sense when you like someone says something, you go say that again, and then you immediately respond to it. I read it, went what, and then clocked it. Okay, cool. Weird though that we got the money out of it. That's strange. Okay, let's save. And how many expert points we have? We have 10. So at 9,400, we went from 11,000, if presumably we did get half before. We lost, what, 600? We lost 1,600. So it's definitely not 1-to-1, but it's also not like a flat percentage. It's like 85.7%. Yeah, maybe it's just like a scaling amount that maybe everyone decreases it by like 5%, and it's just like breaking numbers down weird because of like odd multiples. I'm assuming if they're doing it for funds, they're probably doing it for EXP also, which is probably a good way of balancing it. Because like really, like we say with a lot of these games that the thing that makes them the most busted is their spirits. So, and like stopping EXP is a good way to modulate that and keep that from happening. Yeah, I think we just keep jamming. Okay, even limits too expensive at this point. So okay, cool. Actually, I haven't checked on that in a while. I should be a little more like cognizant of that. We're gonna see that on the pilot screen first, making sure that no one's limit is stopping them from having their like the full extent of their parameters. Yeah, we're like Hayato. We probably don't need to upgrade his limit at all. That's at 289. Okay, the Getter 2 is at 270, so we're missing 20 points on that. That's actually pretty cheap. We could do that there. And then how's... No, that was not the Liger. That was the Eagle. Oh, but this is not necessary. Why did we upgrade this? Oh, probably because I probably looked at Hayato, went, oh, we need to upgrade his limit, went to this, upgraded it, and it didn't do anything. I know we at least wanted to like check to see if it also corresponded to the regular Getter, and I didn't, but like we still should have upgraded the regular Getter instead. You know, let's put 2 points into here now, because I'm also curious to see if this upgrades the rest of the Getter. Sometimes how the Getter gets upgraded is very weird. Sometimes all forms get all of the upgrades. Sometimes all of the forms get a couple of the upgrades. Like, I'm pretty sure in 2 they share HP and energy, but they don't share the other parts. That like those are independent. It's weird. Let's see. Okay, they do share all of those. That's fine. And then what does that do for these 3? Nothing? Nothing. Okay, that's fine. But that should solve Hayato's problem. But the reason we initially thought it wasn't right was because it's like acting as if he is in the Getter 2 right now rather than in the Liger Jet. Let's check everybody. We'll check everybody else and then we'll call it for the day. What? Who are you? Oh, I forgot that Slager looks so weird. I believe I said that he looks like an ant. I know I gave like a weird qualifier for it. I can't remember which one I said. But he looks like someone's aunt who is not around regularly but shows up and is like the one that you know is the fun aunt. Yeah, okay, we're good on everybody. I think it's his like sideburns that are kind of doing it, and like the way his like mouth, jawline, cheekbone deal. Okay, cool. A somewhat insular episode. I did really artificially extend that at the end. Sorry about that, but I'm sure you probably don't mind. But yeah, not a lot to say with that one. That was just sort of fulfilling a role. I would like more scenarios like that where we're given like a really small pool of units, ones that we really haven't had a chance A, to like play with to get familiar with, but also B, we couldn't really upgrade any of those. We could have like theoretically invested into Ryusei a little bit, and the Blugers a little bit when they showed up earlier on that same map. But I like that as a way to be a bit more of a puzzle, be a bit more skill testing. Like I don't need to be like back-breakingly hard, but just like give me a controlled environment where I need to think about like how this unit in particular wants to perform. And maybe it felt easier because I just like clocked it really easily. But like getting to interact with the Blugers in that way, where I sort of just set them up to like grind through the Dolomes really easily, rather than needing to like put that work onto Ryusei or Banjo later. Like that felt good. Like that felt like I like used them the way they were meant to, or like sending Ryusei up to the top and getting him to block off the other like I guess Fossil Empire, whatever the Akira enemies are called. Blocking those off with each other felt also like really intentional in the part of how you were supposed to handle that part of the map. Like give me more of those moments as ways to introduce characters. Like I don't need the game to do that all the time. It feels like it's handing me victories too much. But like give me more moments like that to introduce characters where I'm like it has to be a little more skill testing. All around still very good. Let's see where we're going next. We are headed to... Oh, yes, right, yeah. Now we get to like start doing some more of the boss interactions that I signed up for on this side. We are... The next episode is called Gundam Theft. And seeing as we already have Gundam Mark II on our team, that's like the first Gundam that I think of as being stolen. I imagine we're probably going to be doing 0083 soon, so that we can look forward to that. I really like 0083, and Ana Volgato is like usually presented as like a pretty hard villain to fight, and the GPO2, the Gundam that he steals, if that is in fact the Gundam that we are stealing, it's like a pretty defensive monster. It has like a really hunkin' massive shield, and it has like a pretty big threat in the head of it in the form of a nuclear warhead. So maybe next map we get some challenge, maybe we get some difficulty, maybe I get to game over. What a weird place we've all helped make here. You're watching a YouTuber being like, yes, I can't wait to get a game over in a game finally. What an odd space. To follow up with that, is there anything y'all want me to do or show off or see? Please let me know down in the comments. I'm happy to explore all of it. I do feel like we're like getting a little somewhere trying to figure out what's happening with Alpha mechanics-wise. If you like it sort of interspersed through Alpha maps like this, I can do that. Or if you'd like to see a dedicated Nuts and Bolts episode or two, again, we can do that too. But you let me know what you think. I have a lot of thoughts about these games and I want to make what you want to see. So you just, as usual, you keep firing away. I'll keep making it. And I hope you enjoy. We've got a lot more coming down the pipe like this. Like I said last episode, we've got a lot more time for Alpha because of my schedule coming up weird. We are in the middle, well, we're like getting started with W right now. And I'm really loving that. That's also been a lot of fun. So go check that out if you haven't played it before. It'll be it's my first time with it too. Mondays we are doing the GC generics run right now, but we might start alternating that back and forth with the LTC, maybe, potentially. I don't know. But the generics has been fun. We're like kind of at the part where it's stopped having pressure on us. But it's like I'm enjoying seeing units you don't otherwise normally get to see. And then for a slight change of pace, you can check out Friday streams which would be in place of, I think, probably this episode, for Fantasy Maiden Wars, a take on Super Robot Wars, but using the Toho franchise. If you're unfamiliar, like, cute girls do cute things, but also magic. It was originally a like bullet hell kind of game. But that's my schedule coming up in the future. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. I still adore this space that we've made, and I'm happy to have it every day. I hope you enjoy it. I'm glad you're here. And with that, I will bid you farewell. Enjoy the rest of your night. Make meaning out of the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.